All right, we're back into another Dragon Ball Super Card Game video, and today I wanted to go over the top 16 lists of our Stage 0 Circuit Series. This is Season 4, and pretty much like halfway through, I think when the Fest was announced, or both the events, we switched over to the Fest format rules, so best of one pre-side. So some of it was best of one, other one was best of one pre-side with the set 16 ban list. With this top 16 that we did about a week ago on Sunday, we ended up doing the best of 3 single elimination, but with the set 16 ban list as well. So this is kind of a format that you won't see too much, but will make sense when we go into set 16 and we have the new leaders, and we'll probably see some of this stuff as well. The Circuit Series will continue on March 27th. That is what is planned. I can't really guarantee for sure, but it is the week after the release set 16, and as well as the end of the Fest event. So I didn't really want to start the week of or the weekend of the release simply because of the Fest events. But if anything changes, please join the Discord so that way you are a part of it and you can join. It's completely free. What isn't free is these Master Duel tournaments that I'm trying to do. This coming Thursday, it is a $5 entry. The winner wins a Battle of Chaos box provided by Mystic TCG, which of course you can order at any time in the description below. I will give you full warning that all of these lists should have a DBS deck planet or something else linked to them, but some of them have pictures. But this is the breakdown so far, or not so far, but just the breakdown. We have Brandel with Gogeta Xeno actually winning the whole thing for the top 16. So again, best of 3, set 16 ban list, and as well as just single elimination. You can always look at the bracket too with the challenge link in the description, which I should add. But this is pretty much what it was. If we go by the deck types, which I think this is probably better, we had 1 blue-red launch, we had 3 Sin Shenrons, 2 blue-yellow Soul Strikers. I do believe Rockhead was mono blue, but we'll take a look at that. Set 17 Broly by Spartan, which he loves that deck. Red Gohan with blue-red, or yeah, blue-red. Red Broly, Hatch, and Gogeta Xeno, of course, Dark Broly, which is random, Cooler, and then Android 15 and 14 with VG Time, which is always a blast to watch. Obviously, a lot of really good decks, and then some, you know, some diversity, and as well as trying other things out. And this is what we kind of want to see anyway in general, like people exploring other archetypes, people being competitive and just sticking to really good, you know, yellow dark good stuff, blue cards good stuff. Good to see Red Broly coming out. I'm surprised more and more people didn't play this, but again, he ended up in top 16. And if we look, I think yeah, we can probably do it this way. Top 16 kind of knocked out some of the Soul Striker players, Red Gohan, Red Broly, Dark Broly, which Arnello, shout out to him, unfortunately did not get too far with him. And again, Android 14 and 15, I don't remember what he lost to, but you can take a look at the bracket as well. And of course, all of this is located in the description below if you want to follow along. We had Sin, set 15, Broly, Hatch, and Cooler all up in top 8. Top 4 was the top Soul Striker and 1 other person, which you might be missing. Unfortunately, he was disqualified for cheating. Happens. There's not really too much I can tell you on that one. Please don't witch hunt. I really hate it. The situation has been handled, and if there's any other issues in the future, I will handle it as well. And then the final, Sin Shenron and Gogeta Xeno, not very surprising. Both of these guys are very competitive, and we've had plenty of competitive people, especially like Julian or Vigichime with all of his different decks and etc. All right, let's start with launch with, I think this is Kuwait, I do believe. This is a blue-red launch. I don't think there's too many things I haven't seen before. This is a 58 card deck, which by the way is not too much of an issue, honestly, because I think it is more of a thing of, you know, she just draws so much when she flips. You're using the Gohan that you combo these guys out and you draw more. You're drawing off of the Tyranny's costs and pretty much everything else that replaces itself, and then you're trying to go a little bit aggro with the Divine Presence, Cooler. And we have the sideboard for Raditz for blue, Broly for blue, and for anything else, Vegeta, which does come in clutch. It actually ended up happening against the Sin Shenron, where he tried to play a 1-drop ball and he just got Vegeta'd. This for board clear, 2 Kotsukai for I guess more blue-red stuff or arrival. Max power for Sin and others, and same thing for Violent Ray, Sin, and as well as Go to Zeno. Next up is Sin, which, by the way, he has such a cool like setup here. I love it. This is why I didn't do a TBS deck link for this one. Pretty standard as well for Sin Shenron. The one of Power of Super Saiyan is interesting to look at now. 3 of the Vegeta Final Flash, the one of Super Combo Zamasu with the rest being Krillin, which makes sense. Zamasu is just so strong. The one of Trunks, which is cool because you're gonna be bursting a lot, so why not just go get something that you're missing? And then the one of Vegeta Unison, which I guess could probably be good in the mirror. The side isn't as pretty to look at, but we can at least look at it. The Trunks Unison, which by the way, I don't think I saw the Goku Black Trunks or the Goku Black Unison, but we'll probably see another list. Koitsukai, about Absolute Annihilation and Turning You Blow. I don't know what this really hits, but I guess smaller stuff just for a turn. And then this for Red Broly or even Gogeta Zeno. I mean, people kind of forget about this for Gogeta Zeno, huh? We also have Unison Fury to add it to 2 for the main board. I think this just got thrown in. Same thing with Nimbus. And then I don't know if you're paying 3 for this guy, but probably this whole section outside of the Unison, probably have to rethink the sideboard. That was Son Goku or TCO. This is Corporate Venom. So he is playing a 60 card Soul Striker. Oh my God. Well, yeah, 60 cards and then 15 down there. You do draw a lot in Soul Striker, but the consistency thing, even with a card that or a deck that draws a lot, you want to reduce it enough to be pretty okay. I think 52, 54 is the goal here. But blue yellow, hopefully, I don't think you break too much not seeing a blue yellow. You really just need to charge 1. So, you know, playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 11 and 15 blue yellow outside of the super combos. With 1 yellow, you're not going to charge that. 15 out of 60. I mean, that's kind of a lower percentage, so I think that's something that you gotta think of. Trimming the fat on this one, maybe killing off the Kales and maybe the Calamity if you're not really committing to that strat. Same thing for Horror Prospect. All these one-ofs, I know it's probably like an accessibility thing. I just wouldn't bother, honestly, especially if you want to be more consistent. Even Kale can be a one-of instead of 2. Out the Foreseeing Darkness, so that way you can filter out as well. And then Secret Identity is fine with 2 of the Synchronons. I think playing 1 is fine. For those who don't know, you just pay this for 4. You untap 2 with the leader, and then you just have a Double Striker Barrier Deflector, which can use Spirit Boost to switch to active mode and swing again. That's pretty much what it was. And then we have the sideboard. Not too surprising. I think you mainboard 2 of the babies. You really want to see that later on. Frost Deadly Poison is an interesting one. Don't really see that too often. Dark Power, which is not surprising. Koitsukai, Jiren, and then Max Power. Most likely for the mirror. Next up is Rockhead. Got Mono Blue Soul Striker, so I was right on that one. He didn't have a side, but the main plays out a lot of the Bardock-esque cards, I guess. Well, maybe not too many. I just saw Understanding Fakes and Raditz. I actually like Raditz in Soul Striker. It's not too bad of a card, so that way this restands, even though it restands and then the turn with the leader effect anyway. But the -2 is nice, so that way you untap even more and as well as remove something. One of the UI Goku extra card, probably can see a couple more of those. Same thing for the Calamity Challengers, but again, more accessibility, especially since these got bought out. Not playing Hatch, which is a mistake if you're not playing blue. I think you just full commit, you know, spend that extra money just to buy the Hatch, but I'm sure PyCon came up 1 or 2 times. McYorp, which is cool. I mean, it's just untap more energy. That's the type of thing. I think this is more of a long game type of deck, which if you do get to that point, that's great. I don't really agree with the Whis Coercion. Just play Dimension Magic. That's all I can really think of, especially if you're not playing more than 1 color. So there you go. Then we have Marring with the red-blue Gohan. And we have Piccolo, of course, as a unison, along with Frieza. Here he is. So Frieza, both of these guys will awaken him pretty quickly, and as well as draw him some cards, which is great for the Divine Presence, which is awesome. If you're playing this leader, you're going to be playing more of those, or a lot of those. For the counterplay, of course, the Gohan, and as well as the Android 1718. When you combo out skillless, and that's the only thing in your combo area, you draw one. I think you play 4 of each of these guys, honestly. Even though if you're playing red blue with Sensu Bean, I think you still do play that. This is also a 60 card deck, which I guess is fine because you're not going to have enough room. Plus we're playing this SER, so definitely more on the different side of things. And bear in mind, this is a free tournament, so not everyone's going to be super competitive, or at least getting the competitive cards. But I don't know what secret rare, probably Pan is what you can use. For the blue decks, Dark Flash for this, I think is Sin. We were talking about this card in the chat when we were live, and Sin is pretty much the thing that this is going to stop the activate main. Making you bored for the stuff we talked about. Go 10 units of range. I'm not sure where that will come in versus these guys. I think these guys are objectively better. Peel off for blue, I'm guessing. Android 17 is a interesting tech. You need 3 blue, so not too hard to get with the blue red and the Sensu Beans you have. Vegeta again, which is just a really good counterplay. We have Juice McGreg's, which is Broly swap. Why not? I don't see anything that a Broly deck does not play. Signing out the Unison, I think the not Unison but Secret Rare. This is the deck that had 3 extra cards in the main, and if he didn't, you better tell me now. But I'm pretty sure as I talked to him, the Pan, Man in the Mission, and one of the Imposing Presence was in the main last time I remember. Either way, pretty standard Broly deck. Yeah, I was gonna convert this into a DBS deck link, but or DBS deck planner link, but so it's Android 14 to 15 from VG time. This is a cool deck, and it has my favorite green yellow card currently, which is the Turles. Draws you a card and is a 15k attacker. I think there's one more thing with it. Has the Android 14 15 cards, as well as these Android 13 cards. The Trunks Unison, which is just strong and yellow anyway, and the one of Power Super Saiyan, and just yellow good stuff with the slug package. Not much to tell you about there. Then we have Arnello. Shout out to my local. The child has played Dark Broly. I think he probably didn't have access to another deck. Usually he plays like other black decks like Gogeta Xeno or something else that is degenerate. But he loves Dark Broly, so not surprising that he took this to the Champa, and then Dark Broly stuff with Gogeta and a rat. So no sideboard. Okay, giving you another example why I prefer deckless links instead, but I'm glad that you guys have these cards. If anything, this is a cooler by Rising Phoenix Odyssey, which we have pretty much all the cooler stuff, just a ton of one-ofs, where obviously the new rulers just make sense, Champa makes sense, but then we have a one-of the Gohan, and as well as the cooler and the 3-drop Frieza. Playing the Videl, which is nice, through 2 Violent Rays and 2 of the Posing of Opposition with 2 of the after image technique. And by the way, if I ever have a question about decks for people who might be commenting right now, I always ask them, so don't worry about it. Through the Jiren Unison, which I think you should, I think 3 is fine actually, especially if you're playing 3 of these. 2 or 3 of the coolers, I don't think that's really needed, or the Dynamo, but I think that's fine. We do have the Agent Destruction kind of spice thing with the Agent Destruction Janemba. I don't really agree with this because it's just so inconsistent, even though you're paying 4 majority of the time, and that one time you pay 3, it's just not gonna be worth it, honestly. So I would just take those out. One of the Yamchas and 2 more counterplays of the Gokus. I think you just commit to either one. 2 of the Piccolo Unison and 2 of the Gokus, 2 of the Topos in the side, 2 Haru Koits, Broly, and as well as the Vegeta Unison and 2 Dark Power. Overall, very interesting deck. Didn't make it too far, unfortunately, but I can see where he was going with it, and I think the ratios just need work. I'm sure with Rising Phoenix, he's going to make a complete novel in the comments below. Can't wait for it. All right, here's Hatch. Everyone, every time we say Hatch, people just kind of cringe, or at least like groan. But I personally think it's a good like pick, especially going into Fest. I think it's pretty decent, at least. I don't think it's the best. If you're thinking of time restraints and winning by time, talk to George, and he will say that Hatch is not the pick. Neither here nor there. The whole deck makes sense. We've seen it before. We have the Gogeta stuff. The ratios look fine. You definitely want to go into or lean into the 8 drop. Beyond All Limits with the new art on it. 56 cards. Don't really agree with, even though I know you're going to be milling out some of it early on. 2 Oceanus. I think you go 4 in this deck, or at least 3. Survival of the Fittest in the main for blue would make sense. I think you side in. Oh, you do side in 1 more, so that's good. This guy, I don't think is worth in this deck specifically, especially since it's, I mean, it's a dual attacker. I guess it's fine. Power, fully unleash, as well as max power for a number of decks. Changing the history for blue, which is fine. Unexpected turn. I don't really know where that is applicable nowadays, but it is what it is. I believe one of the links is corrupted, so sorry about that. I will fix it by the time this is up, and if it's not, then I apologize. So we're missing another deck. Julian Ostov playing Sin Shenron, which he is playing the TP, which basically you pay for 3, and then you have a 4-cost unison. You can awaken early, which does come in clutch for sure. He is playing the Cell Xeno Secret, which makes sense. I mean, you're going to get to turn 5, and it's just going to be a good time from there. And then we also have for Forbidden Power, which we've seen in on the stream quite a bit, just leaning towards that, especially since you have blockers. You can just Forbidden Power and then block, basically. 4 Flying Nimbus, which I don't know if I totally agree with, especially since you're playing Robotic Robos, but I guess it worked out. I mean, that's fine. Dragon Thunder, which you gain 5k in his no cause, and there's specific things that come with it. It's interesting that it's in the main. Let's just put it that way, because I would have put it in the side. You know, just put 2 here instead of 1. Or just main board 1. I don't know. Chi, Tyrannical Blow, more stuff that we're looking at from yellow. Another Forbidden Power for more aggro decks. I guess Gogeta. Mecha Gabora is not in the main, so it's in the side. So I guess I can see that. I don't know where it's going to come in. And then 1 cooler to add on to the other one. We have the TP. I think in the previous top 16, he played this, and it came in clutch. So talking about top 4, we have Big Colton, which he played blue, yellow, Soul Striker. 56 is about that area where you can, you know, be fine. 2 Secret Identity I don't really agree with, but if you don't have too much removal, I guess that's fine. Same thing for Oceanus. I think you side out Oceanus. I don't think Deborah is really worth in Soul Striker. Even if you run into that 1 hand destruction card or hand destruction deck, I don't think you're gonna have too much of a bad time. Especially playing 4 Secret or Saiyan Instincts. I don't think it's really needed. I think you side in 3 of these boys or girls, I guess. The one of Gotense is something that I kept thinking, because he plays 4 of the Gogeta, so I'm like, I'm sure he's gonna do that. 1 more of the 3-cost unison, and then 1 of the Majin Buu, which is fine. I think 2 is better, but if you just have 1, that is perfectly fine. 2 of the 17, which is great. 3 of the Vegeta, 1 of the Zamasu, and then 3 Calamities. Just about right. I think this deck looks pretty solid. Just a few ratios and just, you know, just some choices that will be preference, honestly. And then more Deborahs, which is surprising. Didn't see 1 green deck that played hand destruction, or just green deck in general. I don't think we saw any green deck. Yeah, no green decks outside of doesn't really count as a yellow deck, so literally no green decks. Someone called Butters to play King Cold in this. Rebirth into full power, which is funny against like Sin or yeah, just Sin, honestly. But I mean, they can just rest it, so there you go. So out with the Fizz for the mirror, max power, etc, etc. We've seen these cards before in other decks, just common sideboard cards. Then we have Peter in the finals, Sin Shenron. It's pretty much stuff that we've seen. This is a secret. Shout out to Russell Seltzer instead. It does put in work, definitely puts in work, but as soon as it gets Final Flashed or whatever it may be, it doesn't do too great. But it is still a really good SCR, and it's cheap and accessible and easy to play. We have the Frieza 1 of, which is great to see because that's your turn 5 instead of turn 6, which is your leader, or 7 depending. For the Mecha Gabora instead of the Goku Black or anything else, that is awesome. I mean, it's just a really good card, especially when you have so much control in Sin Shenron, and a lot of decks just can't keep up with the pace that Centron Run makes you keep up to. Like, it's controlling and putting out the 9 drops and putting out the 8 drops and having the barrier blockers and having the triple strikers. So I don't know. It's just that type of thing where Mecha Gabora is just a really good unison right now. Playing the Yoshietis, which is cool because you just restand your blockers, which came in clutch in the top 4, top finals. I don't know. Units of the Fairy for Gogeta, 2 of the Saiyan Instincts, so you don't main any of them either. Jiren, of course, for blue, Release of Evil, didn't really see that one. And then Giant Ball, which again, things like Frieza from Rebirth can get hit by. And of course, the 3rd Final Flash and 2 more riposts. I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I guess you probably side in both of these guys if you're going to be signing in any of them. Well done to him. And lastly, but of course the best, literally. And I just realized you guys couldn't even see what I was talking about, but you can hear it and you can follow along in the description below. So sorry about that. I thought I had it. It just reset on the screen. So my bad. But again, best, but not least, or last but not least, but also the best, is Brandle's Gogeta Xeno deck, which he piloted really well. I mean, honestly, against the Sin Shenron finish, I mean, he just played a bunch of stuff, made him answer to everything, aggroed him down as soon as possible, etc. Same thing for set 15 Broly. If you look at that, it was just a good play to keep at 2 energy and just make him not be able to play that red Broly for 3, because you need 3 energy after we ruled it. I don't think you knew that, but this is why you ask for card effects when you play against an opponent. But overall, awesome finish. It's a solid deck. The Mira kind of comes in instead of the Pycon, which I don't think he size or mains. Well, 1 in the main, but he mains, well, puts forward the playset to main the Mira. I think that we're going to see that more and more with the Gogeta Xeno players. This guy has a errata, but he still played up 4 because he's so strong. We have 2 of the Tenacious, which did kind of help, but not really. I think this really just depends on what your overall slot looks like at the time of the turn. One of the Catastrophic, as well as the making the entrance, which don't play Power Burst, so you can't get either one back, but that is fine. I don't think this really plays any negates outside of the Kai, which is kind of a negate. I guess it is a negate, but still. Either way, great finish in, as well as main board with the Kai, which definitely stopped a bunch of turns. A well-timed Kai will do that. And then fully unleash Ritual Hand, Dark Power, and etc. with the Gogeta, the big boy Gogeta, in the side for longer games, if I had to take a guess. Yet again, if you want to see the list, it's in the description below. I'll double check the links and see if I can get DBS link from the players again, or at least people who may have been missing for those. Let me know what you think. If you want to join, is in the description below for the Chalan link, and as well as our Discord. I talked a lot, so hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.